The Salt of the Earth, a comprehensive guide to the world's most popular salts and their impact on your health. Salt has been a cornerstone of human civilization for thousands of years, serving not only as a flavor enhancer, but also as a preservative and currency. Today, consumers face an overwhelming array of salt options at their grocery stores, from the familiar blue canister of table salt to exotic pink crystals from the Himalayas. With cardiovascular disease remaining the leading cause of death in the United States, understanding which salt to choose has become more than a matter of taste, it's a health imperative. Table salt, the most widely used workhorse. Table salt remains the most widely consumed salt across the globe. Extracted from underground salt deposits, this heavily refined product undergoes intensive processing to remove impurities and trace minerals, resulting in a pure white appearance and uniform crystalline structure. The fine granules dissolve quickly, making table salt ideal for baking and recipes requiring rapid dissolution, such as soups and batters. Most table salt sold in the United States contains added iodine, a critical mineral that prevents iodine deficiency disorders. Your thyroid gland relies on iodine to produce essential hormones like triiodothyronine and thyroxine, which regulate blood pressure, body temperature, and heart rate. These hormones are also vital for proper bone and brain development during pregnancy and infancy. Iodized salt has been found to reduce goiter rates and thyroid volumes in multiple studies, though some research shows children under 6 years may not receive the same benefit. The primary drawback of table salt lies not in its composition, but in how much Americans consume. The typical American diet contains approximately 10 grams of salt daily, double the World Health Organization's recommended maximum of 5 grams per day for adults. Excessive sodium intake increases cardiovascular disease risk by 6% for every additional gram consumed daily. High sodium consumption raises blood pressure, damages blood vessels, and forces the heart to work harder, contributing to stroke and coronary heart disease. Sea salt, harvested from the ocean's edge. Sea salt is produced through the evaporation of seawater, typically in large, shallow pools exposed to sun and wind. Unlike table salt, sea salt undergoes minimal processing, allowing it to retain trace minerals such as calcium, magnesium, and potassium, which contribute to its slightly different flavor profile and off-white color. The main health benefits of moderate sea salt consumption include regulating blood pressure and facilitating nutrient absorption, thanks to its sodium content that helps control fluid distribution throughout the body. Sea salt enriched with iodine offers additional thyroid support, though many sea salts sold commercially lack sufficient natural iodine unless specifically fortified. However, the mineral content in sea salt provides negligible nutritional benefits. The trace minerals present exist in such small quantities that they don't significantly impact health outcomes. Additionally, freshly harvested sea salt may contain traces of modern ocean pollutants, a concern absent from ancient salt deposits. From a sodium perspective, sea salt delivers the same amount per weight as table salt, meaning it carries identical cardiovascular risks when consumed in excess. Himalayan pink salt, ancient minerals from mountain peaks. Himalayan pink salt comes from ancient sea deposits in the Kira salt mine in Pakistan, dating back millions of years. Its distinctive rose-pink hue comes from trace minerals, including iron, potassium, and magnesium. Often marketed as the healthiest salt option, Himalayan pink salt has captured consumer imagination with promises of superior nutritional benefits. The reality proves more modest. While Himalayan salt does contain up to 84 different trace minerals, these exist in insignificant amounts that provide no proven health advantages. A teaspoon of finely ground Himalayan pink salt contains approximately 2,200–2,300 milligrams of sodium, virtually identical to table salt. The mineral content primarily affects visual appeal and flavor, giving Himalayan salt a bolder taste that makes it popular for cooking, serving foods on salt slabs, and as a finishing salt. Proponents claim Himalayan salt is gentler on the stomach and may help balance electrolytes when used in small amounts. It's also frequently used in bath soaks for muscle relaxation and skin hydration. Because these deposits formed before modern pollution, Himalayan salt is generally considered purer than sea salt harvested from contemporary oceans. However, regarding cardiovascular health,
Himalayan salt poses the same risks as any other salt when consumed beyond recommended limits. It remains predominantly sodium chloride. Celtic sea salt, traditional harvest with natural moisture. Celtic sea salt, also known as sel gris, gray salt, is hand-harvested from coastal regions of Brittany, France, using traditional methods dating back over 2,000 years. The salt is collected from clay-lined evaporation ponds, which gives it a characteristic grayish color and higher moisture content than other salts.
Celtic salt retains a range of trace minerals, especially magnesium, calcium, and potassium, contributing to its unique flavor profile. According to research comparing gourmet table salts, Guérande gray salt, a type of Celtic salt, had the highest concentrations of cobalt and manganese among specialty salts tested. However, like other specialty salts, the mineral quantities remain too low to provide tangible health benefits.
Celtic sea salt is often described as smelling and of the sea, making it a favorite finishing salt for meat, seafood, vegetables, and even sweets like chocolate and caramel. The primary advantage of Celtic sea salt lies in its less processed nature, appealing to consumers seeking natural alternatives to refined table salt. Natural salts like Celtic sea salt are believed to support various bodily functions through their retained minerals, though scientific evidence for significant health benefits remains limited.
From a sodium content perspective, Celtic salt delivers the same cardiovascular risks as other salts when overconsumed. Kosher salt, the chef's favorite. Kosher salt takes its name from its traditional use in the koshering process of meats, where its large, irregular crystals excel at drawing blood from meat surfaces. Unlike table salt's fine, uniform granules, kosher salt features larger, light, and flaky crystals with air pockets between them. This crystal structure makes kosher salt less dense. A teaspoon of kosher salt weighs less and contains less sodium than a teaspoon of table salt. Chefs gravitate toward kosher salt for its versatility and ease of use. The large crystals provide greater control when seasoning, are easier to pinch between fingers, and cling well to food surfaces, ensuring even seasoning. Kosher salt excels in dry brining, seasoning steaks, and garnishing dishes. Its slower dissolution rate compared to table salt can be desirable for textural crunch or lingering saltiness. Nutritionally, kosher salt and table salt are fundamentally identical. Both are sodium chloride. The difference comes down to taste preference, desired texture, and culinary application. Most kosher salt is not iodized, which means users miss out on the thyroid health benefits that iodized table salt provides. There's also a distinct difference in flavor and salinity between kosher salt and regular iodized salt, with some finding kosher salt less metallic tasting. Fleur de sel, the delicate finishing touch. Fleur de sel, French for flower of salt, represents the crème de la crème of specialty salts. Harvested from the surface of evaporation ponds in coastal France, particularly in Guérande and Brittany, fleur de sel forms as delicate crystalline crusts that are carefully hand-raked on warm, sunny, windless days. This labor-intensive harvesting method makes it one of the most expensive salts available. Fleur de sel is relatively high in zinc, potassium, iron, calcium, and magnesium compared to other salts. It's often described as smelling and tasting of the sea, with a complex flavor profile that makes it a preferred finishing salt for meat, seafood, vegetables, and sweets like chocolate and caramel. Despite its premium price and gourmet reputation, fleur de sel's mineral content remains too low to affect any tangible health benefits. The 97% sodium chloride content means fleur de sel carries the same cardiovascular risks as any other salt when consumed in excess. Its value lies primarily in culinary applications. The delicate crystals and nuanced flavor enhance dishes when sprinkled just before serving, but it offers no health advantage over less expensive salt options. The sodium dilemma: understanding health risks. Regardless of which salt variety sits in your pantry, the fundamental health concern remains sodium intake. The body requires only 1 to 2 grams of salt daily to control blood pressure and help muscles and nerves function properly. However, most Americans consume approximately 10 grams daily, far exceeding recommendations.
Excessive sodium intake poses serious cardiovascular risks. Research demonstrates that high sodium consumption increases cardiovascular disease risk by 19% compared to low sodium intake. The relationship follows a linear pattern, with every additional gram of dietary sodium increasing cardiovascular disease risk by 6%. Too much salt raises blood pressure, damages blood vessels, forces the heart to work harder, and increases risk of stroke and coronary heart disease.
The World Health Organization recommends a maximum sodium intake of less than 2,000 milligrams per day, equivalent to less than 5 grams of salt for adults. The American Heart Association takes an even more conservative stance, recommending no more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium daily for optimal heart health. These recommendations should be adjusted downward for children based on their energy requirements relative to adults. The majority of dietary sodium doesn't come from the salt shaker on your table. Approximately 70–75% of sodium in the American diet comes from processed and restaurant foods, where salt serves as both a preservative and flavor enhancer. Reading nutrition labels and choosing low-sodium options when purchasing packaged foods makes a more significant impact on sodium intake than switching from table salt to Himalayan pink salt. Iodine, the critical consideration. When evaluating salt options, iodine content deserves special attention. Iodine deficiency remains a global health concern, causing thyroid disorders, goiter, and developmental problems in children. The United States addressed widespread iodine deficiency through salt iodization programs beginning in the 1920s, virtually eliminating goiter as a public health problem. Today, iodine remains somewhat elusive in most people's diets unless they regularly consume seafood or use iodized salt. Many specialty salts, including Himalayan pink salt, most sea salts, Celtic sea salt, kosher salt, and fleur de sel, contain little to no iodine unless specifically fortified. While sea salt may contain trace amounts of natural iodine if not heavily refined, the quantity is minimal and unreliable.
For individuals who don't regularly eat seafood, seaweed, dairy products, or eggs, all natural iodine sources, choosing iodized salt is a wise decision. Pregnant women, children, and individuals with thyroid conditions should pay particular attention to iodine intake, as deficiency can affect brain development and thyroid hormone production. The verdict: best salt choices for your health. After examining the most consumed salts worldwide, their mineral compositions and health implications, several clear recommendations emerge for health-conscious consumers.
First choice: iodized table salt, used sparingly. Despite lacking the glamour of specialty salts, iodized table salt remains the most practical choice for most Americans. It provides essential iodine that prevents thyroid disorders and supports proper hormone production. The fine crystals dissolve quickly and distribute evenly in cooking. Most importantly, table salt costs a fraction of specialty salts, making it accessible to all income levels. The key is moderation, measuring salt rather than shaking freely, and being mindful of sodium in processed foods.
Second choice: iodized sea salt. For those preferring a less processed option, iodized sea salt offers the best of both worlds: minimal refinement with retained trace minerals, plus added iodine for thyroid health. This option works well for consumers who want to avoid highly refined products while ensuring adequate iodine intake. Look for products specifically labeled as iodized, since natural iodine content in sea salt is typically insufficient. For culinary applications, kosher salt. When cooking, kosher salt provides superior control and ease of use compared to fine table salt.
Its large crystals are easy to pinch and distribute evenly, making it a favorite among professional chefs. Keep kosher salt for cooking and use iodized salt in the shaker at your table to ensure adequate iodine intake. For finishing dishes, any specialty salt. When it comes to finishing salts, sprinkled on food just before serving for flavor and texture, choose based on taste preference and budget rather than health claims. Fleur de sel, Celtic sea salt, Himalayan pink salt, and other specialty salts offer unique flavors and textural experiences that can elevate a dish. However, understand that their health benefits don't justify premium prices from a nutritional standpoint. Avoid the marketing hype. Don't be swayed by marketing claims that certain salts are healthier due to trace mineral content. While Himalayan pink salt contains up to 84 minerals and Celtic sea salt retains magnesium and calcium, these exist in quantities too small to meaningfully impact health. All salts are primarily sodium chloride and pose the same cardiovascular risks when overconsumed. The most important dietary change isn't switching salt types, it's reducing overall sodium intake. Focus on eating more whole, unprocessed foods, cooking at home where you control salt levels, reading nutrition labels on packaged products, and measuring salt during cooking rather than seasoning by feel. Choose iodized salt to protect your thyroid, use kosher salt for its culinary advantages, and enjoy specialty salts as occasional flavor enhancers. Your heart and your budget will thank you.